Hello! If you've been waking up tired, even after a full night of sleep, this video might explain why. Because what's stealing your rest isn't always stress, anxiety, or insomnia. Sometimes, it's the little things you do every night without realizing. Tiny habits, harmless on the surface, but quietly keeping your brain in survival mode when it should be in deep rest. In this video, we'll uncover 5 common nighttime habits that are secretly ruining your sleep, and what you can do about them starting tonight. If sleep has felt like a struggle lately, this might be the missing piece. So before we begin, subscribe if you're ready to turn your nights into something peaceful again, and let me know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Now, let's get into it. You lie in bed, the lights are off, the house is quiet, the screen's finally black. You've done your part. You followed all the usual advice, the wind-down routine, the clean sheets, the peppermint tea. You're tired. So why are you still awake? Your body feels heavy, but your brain? Wide awake, like someone flipped a switch the moment your head hit the pillow. Thoughts come flooding in, random, chaotic, unstoppable. Did I send that email? What if I forget? Tomorrow's meeting? Wait, what's that sound in the hallway? You keep shifting positions, hoping one of them is the one. You clench your eyes shut. You hold your breath. You even try to trick your brain into thinking you're already asleep. Still nothing. Minutes pass, then hours, and eventually, you fall asleep. But not because you relaxed. It's because your body gave up. And when you wake up, you're still tired, still foggy, like you went to battle instead of resting. Now let's be honest. How often does this happen? Once a week? Most nights? Every night? If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken, because what you're experiencing isn't insomnia. Not exactly, it's interference. The truth is, you're doing things before bed, seemingly innocent things, that are secretly disrupting your brain's ability to transition into sleep mode. Not just once in a while, every single night. Most people think sleep is a switch. Flip it off, lights out, good night. But sleep isn't a switch. It's a process, a fragile, delicate sequence that your brain wants to follow, but only if you let it. And here's the twist. Your sleep isn't just about what you do when you close your eyes, it's about what you did before that moment. The hours leading up to bed are what decide the quality of your night and the kind of human you'll be in the morning. That's where we get it all wrong. We spend hundreds of dollars on better pillows, humidifiers, white noise machines. We try magnesium, melatonin, CBD, ASMR. We read blogs, watch TED Talks, follow sleep influencers who somehow wake up glowing at 5 a.m. But rarely do we stop and look at the small stuff. The things we think are fine, the late-night cup of tea, the scroll session that was only 5 minutes, the snack you eat because going to bed hungry is worse, right? The thoughts you feed yourself right before you drift off, thoughts you'd never say to a friend, but say to yourself every single night. And these things, they build up, they accumulate like background noise until your brain can't find silence, even when the room is silent. So what if I told you that there are 5 nighttime habits, 5 seemingly harmless things that are actively sabotaging your sleep, and not in an obvious way, not like an energy drink before bed or falling asleep with the TV blasting. No, these are subtle, sneaky. They wear the costume of comfort, but underneath, they're chaos. And chances are, you're doing at least one of them, maybe even all 5. But here's the best part. Once you see them, you can stop them. And once you stop them, everything shifts. You don't have to fight your brain. You just have to stop confusing it. Because your brain wants to sleep. It's designed to. You just have to stop interrupting the process. So if you've been waking up tired, if your dreams feel shallow, if your nights feel longer than your days, and if you're ready to stop surviving on 3 a.m. coping mechanisms and actually learn what your body's been trying to tell you all along, stay here. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the habits that most people overlook and show you how to shift from chaos to calm. No gimmicks. No expensive gear, just clarity, awareness, and a new kind of nighttime ritual that actually works. This isn't about becoming a perfect sleeper. It's about removing the friction, the noise, the static, the stuff that keeps your nervous system in fight or flight when it's supposed to be in rest and digest. Because what if the real cure for your bad sleep isn't found in a pill or podcast? What if it's found in what you don't do? Let's begin. Let me paint a picture. It's late. The world is quiet. You've finally turned everything off. The kitchen is clean. The notifications are silenced. You've even told yourself, tonight I'm going to sleep early. And for a second, you believe it. You slip into bed, pull the covers up, close your eyes, and that's when it starts. Your mind, suddenly, is the loudest thing in the room. It replays conversations from 3 days ago. It reminds you of everything you haven't done. It pokes at your fears, your unfinished lists, your what-ifs. The more you try to push the thoughts away, the louder they become. So you open your eyes, check the time, and you feel it, that sinking sensation in your chest. That ache of disappointment, because you've been here before. You know how this night will go, how your body will stay in that half-sleeping, half-aware state, how your alarm will ring before you felt any real rest, how you'll carry that exhaustion into your morning and the cycle will repeat again and again. It's a special kind of loneliness, isn't it? Lying there in the dark, unable to do the one thing that should be simple, sleep. And the worst part? No one really talks about this version of insomnia. Not the dramatic, I haven't slept in 3 days kind, but the quiet kind. The kind where you're technically sleeping but never deeply enough, where you wake up feeling like you were hit by a bus, where you're surviving but never truly recovering. If this feels familiar, let me say this clearly. You're not lazy, you're not weak, and you're definitely not alone. Your brain isn't the enemy. It's just overwhelmed, overstimulated, confused by habits that were never meant to be part of your bedtime ritual. See, no one teaches us how to sleep. We're taught how to study, how to work, how to hustle. But no one teaches us the art of winding down, of releasing, of making space for rest. And because of that, most people go to bed carrying everything from the day, the stress, the tension, the screens, the sugar, the noise. And then we wonder why sleep feels impossible. Here's the truth. Your body wants to rest. It's built to rest, but you have to give it the conditions it needs to do that. And that's where this video comes in. Because the habits we're going to talk about, they're not dramatic, they're not obvious, they're small, subtle, but they carry massive weight. They seem harmless, even comforting, but they're stealing your rest night after night, and once you see them, you can begin to change them. I'm not here to throw science at you and walk away. I'm here because I've been where you are, because I know what it's like to stare at the ceiling night after night wondering, what's wrong with me? When in reality, nothing's wrong with you. You're just following a script that was never written for deep sleep, and tonight, we're going to rewrite it. By the end of this video, you'll have clarity. You'll understand why your mind won't turn off. You'll see the hidden patterns in your nightly routine. And most importantly, you'll walk away with tools, real, simple shifts that you can start using tonight, not someday. Not when you've finally fixed everything. Tonight. Imagine this. You go to bed and your mind feels quiet. Not because you forced it, but because it finally has nothing left to fight. You fall asleep naturally, stay asleep, and wake up feeling like a version of yourself you forgot existed. That's not a dream, it's a process, and it starts here. So if you're tired of being tired, if you're done with restless nights and foggy mornings, stay with me. The habits we're about to uncover could be the missing pieces your body's been begging for. Let's take the first step. Together. We live in a world that treats sleep like an afterthought. Think about it. When was the last time someone taught you how to sleep? Not just how long to sleep, not just get 8 hours, but how to actually prepare your body and mind for it. Probably never. Instead, we're taught how to wake up, how to hustle, how to be productive. We learn how to push, how to grind, how to win the morning. But what about the night? What about the transition from day to sleep, from chaos to stillness? No one talks about it, and that silence has left most people stuck in a loop. Here's the thing. Your body isn't broken, it's confused, because modern life constantly sends mixed signals to your brain, signals that keep it in a state of alert long after the day is done. Let's look at your environment for a second. Your phone emits blue light that suppresses melatonin, your natural sleep hormone. Your snacks, often packed with hidden sugar or caffeine. Your thoughts, flooded with information, stories, and stimulation from the second you open a screen. And yet, you lie in bed expecting your mind to shut off like a light switch. But sleep isn't a command. It's a cascade, a gradual descent. And that descent begins hours before your head hits the pillow. Here's something no one tells you. Your body starts preparing for sleep in the late afternoon. Your core temperature begins to drop. Your brain begins winding down, if you let it. But most people don't. They speed up more screens, more content, more conversations. We flood our nervous system with input right when it needs stillness. We snack on sugar when our bodies crave stability. We lie in bed, stressed about not sleeping, which only makes sleep harder to find. It's backwards, it's tragic, and it's common. Now, let me introduce a strange truth that might change how you see all of this. Your brain doesn't need complete silence to sleep. It needs consistency. That means regular cues, familiar patterns. A bedtime rhythm that tells your nervous system, you're safe, you can let go now. But when every night looks different, one night you're scrolling until 2 a.m., the next you're eating ice cream in bed, the next you're anxious about waking up early, your brain doesn't know what to expect. It panics. It stays alert because unpredictability to your brain is danger. And here's where things get deeper. This isn't just about the body, it's about the mind and the stories we've absorbed about sleep itself. Many of us carry quiet beliefs like, I'm just a light sleeper. My brain never shuts off. I've always had bad sleep. It's just who I am. But these aren't facts. They're patterns you learned. Patterns that were shaped by years of rushing, worrying, and misunderstanding your own biology. The real problem isn't just that you're doing the wrong things before bed. It's that no one ever taught you what right looks like. You were never shown that sleep is something you build throughout the day, that it begins long before you're tired, that certain behaviors, even subtle ones, can sabotage your rest from the inside out. And the worst part? Most solutions out there just cover up the symptoms. Melatonin helps you fall asleep faster, but doesn't guarantee deep sleep. Sleep tracking apps give you data, but not healing. White noise machines soothe the surface, but they don't fix the root. Because the real problem is how you're entering the night. Your brain isn't a machine you can power down, it's a living system, and it's watching your every move. So when you open TikTok at midnight, when you eat that late night snack, when you fall asleep at a different time every night, you're telling your brain, stay alert, something might be coming. That's not sleep, that's survival. But there's another way, a slower, softer path. One where your nights are steady, your mind knows what to expect, and your body learns how to feel safe again, not just horizontal, but truly relaxed. That's what we're unlocking in this video. Because these 5 habits, they aren't just things you do, they're signals, messages to your brain. And when you change the signal, you change the response. So no, you're not just bad at sleeping. You've just been unknowingly sending your brain the wrong message. Let's fix that. Let's go deeper now. Let's walk through the 5 habits that seem harmless, maybe even comforting, but are silently dismantling your sleep from the inside out. Some of these might surprise you. Others might feel painfully familiar. But all of them matter. 1. The 2 p.m. trap. Hidden caffeine sabotage. You probably know caffeine can keep you awake, but what most people don't realize is how long it lingers in your system. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means, if you drink a cup of coffee at 3 p.m., half of that caffeine is still active in your body at 9 p.m. By midnight, there's still a noticeable amount floating through your bloodstream, stimulating your nervous system, blocking melatonin, and keeping your brain in alert mode. And it's not just coffee, dark chocolate, green tea, sleepy time teas with hidden stimulants, pre-workout drinks, soda, even decaf can have trace amounts. This is what we call the 2 p.m. trap. You don't feel the effects immediately, so you think you're safe. But then, when it's time to wind down, your brain feels unsettled. You're tired, but wired. Like your thoughts have had 3 espressos and a marching band rehearsal. So here's the rule of thumb. No caffeine after 2 p.m., even better. Cut off around noon if you're extra sensitive. Because deep sleep doesn't begin at bedtime. It begins hours earlier, with the choices you make when the sun's still up. 2. The digital hangover, screen scrolling before bed. We all do it. One last scroll, one more video, one more update. What starts as 5 minutes turns into 40, and before you know it, you've gone from cat videos to conspiracy threads about time-traveling billionaires. But here's the problem. Screens emit blue light, the kind that tells your brain, "Hey, it's still daytime!" This suppresses melatonin production and delays your natural sleep onset. Even worse, the content you consume overstimulates your mind. News, drama, opinions, endless input. It's like inviting a loud crowd into your bedroom while you're trying to meditate. So what's the solution? Replace the screen with stillness, a dim light, a slow book, a blank notebook, even just lying quietly, no agenda, no stimulation, can do wonders. The goal is to stop feeding your brain input and start giving it space, because your mind doesn't need more to process. It needs room to unload what it's already carrying. 3. The midnight snack misstep. Late night snacking feels like self-care, right? It's cozy, comforting, something sweet to end the day. But physiologically, it's a disruption. Eating right before bed keeps your digestive system active when it should be winding down. Certain foods, especially sugar and refined carbs, spike your blood sugar, raise your core body temperature, and throw off your circadian rhythm. And guess what both high blood sugar and elevated body temperature do? They delay the onset of deep sleep. Even healthy snacks like granola bars, fruit, or cereal can mess with your sleep cycle if eaten too close to bedtime. It's not about never eating at night. It's about timing and intention. Try finishing your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you must snack, stick with something protein-based and light, like a spoon of almond butter or a boiled egg. Don't feed your body energy when it's trying to slow down, because when digestion is still on, restoration is off. 4. The sleep pressure problem. Trying too hard to fall asleep. You know that moment when you're lying in bed and suddenly become hyper-aware that you're not sleeping? So you try harder. You clench your eyes. You change positions. You tell yourself, "Come on, just fall asleep already." That pressure? It's the enemy of sleep. The more you try to force it, the more alert your brain becomes. It's like yelling at a cat to sit still. The tension only makes it run faster. This creates what's known as sleep performance anxiety, a loop where you fear not sleeping, which ironically keeps you awake. The fix? Get out of bed, seriously. If you've been lying awake for more than 20 minutes, get up. Go to a different room. Keep the lights low. Do something calm. Read, breathe, stretch. Send your brain the message. This is not a place for stress. This is a place for rest. Then, when you feel sleepy again, return. Sleep thrives on surrender, not effort. 5. The chaos clock. Inconsistent sleep schedules. Your brain has an internal clock, your circadian rhythm. It thrives on predictability. Rhythm. Consistency. But modern life destroys that rhythm. One night you go to bed at 10 p.m., The next, it's past 1 a.m. Weekends? Totally off the rails. Every time you change your sleep time by hours, you confuse your brain. It doesn't know when to release melatonin, when to lower your core temperature, when to prepare for deep sleep. It's like trying to run a marathon with the finish line constantly moving. Consistency doesn't mean rigidity. It just means narrowing the gap. Try to go to bed and wake up within a 60-90 minute window, even on weekends. Your brain will thank you. Your energy will improve, and sleep will stop feeling like a game of chance. Now that you've seen them, all 5, take a moment. Which one shows up most in your life? Because identifying it is the first step toward undoing it. These habits don't make you bad at sleeping. They make you human, in a world that doesn't teach us how to rest. But now you know, and with that knowledge comes the power to change. Here's the truth that no one says out loud. You don't have a sleep problem. You have a rhythm problem. Let that sink in for a second, because it changes everything. Most people spend years, even decades, trying to fix their sleep by treating it like something that's broken. They try pills, sound machines, guided meditations, special mattresses. They obsess over their sleep tracker data, panic at their sleep score, and Google melatonin dosages at 2:41 a.m. But they never stop to ask a much simpler question. What if your brain already knows how to sleep? You've just been making it too hard for it to do so? You see, sleep isn't something you achieve. It's something you allow. And to allow it, your nervous system needs 3 things: predictability, simplicity, safety. But our modern routines provide the opposite. Unpredictable sleep hours, excessive stimulation, emotional chaos. We treat nighttime like a bonus round, a leftover space we squeeze into after the real day is over. So here's the shift. Stop trying to fix sleep as if it's a broken machine. Start focusing on the conditions you're creating. Imagine sleep as a guest. You don't chase it down the street. You don't scream at it to come back. You prepare a place for it. You create an environment that feels inviting, calm, consistent, and then you let it arrive when it's ready. That's the plot twist. Sleep doesn't respond to force, it responds to rhythm. If you're forcing it, you're feeding the exact stress that prevents it. The harder you try, the further it slips away. But when you let go, when you soften your grip, lower the volume, and remove the noise, that's when it returns. Because your body is not the enemy. Your mind is not defective. Your nervous system isn't trying to punish you. It's just been confused by caffeine at odd hours, by screens that mimic sunlight, by sudden emotional highs and unfinished loops, by bedtimes that move, like targets in the dark. But when you strip that away, when you rebuild rhythm, something incredible happens. You stop fighting with your body, and you start working with it. You stop seeing sleep as a goal, and start seeing it as a consequence, a natural result of doing less, not more. Here's something most people never realize. Your sleep issues aren't solved at midnight. They're solved in the hours leading up to it. They're solved when you stop drinking caffeine late in the day, when you stop feeding your brain blue light before bed, when you stop flooding your system with food it can't process peacefully, when you stop forcing your eyes shut and start letting your nervous system relax, when you go to bed around the same time, not because it's trendy, but because your body needs rhythm to feel safe. This isn't magic. This is biology. This is your brain finally getting the message it's been waiting for. You're safe now. It's okay to rest, and suddenly it does. No expensive device, no complicated biohack, just a shift. From control to trust, from chaos to consistency, from trying to allowing. That's the real cure. That's the real revolution. And the best part? You don't need to become someone else to do it. You don't need to overhaul your life in one night. You just need to start with awareness, then intention, then repetition. Over time, your brain begins to recognize the pattern. It begins to expect stillness. It begins to remember what it once knew, that sleep is your birthright, and your body wants to give it to you, if you'll just stop interrupting the process. So the next time you find yourself awake at 1 a.m., spiraling into frustration, remember this: it's not about trying harder, it's about trying less. Sleep isn't earned by force, it's welcomed by rhythm. Let that be your new approach. Now that the blindfold is off, now that you can see what's been sabotaging your sleep from the shadows, it's time to do something about it. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Because this isn't about a full life overhaul, it's about small intentional shifts, subtle adjustments that realign your body and mind with what they've always craved: rhythm, calm, and safety. So let's take these 5 habits and flip the script. 1. Cut the caffeine before it cuts your sleep. Simple. Rule no caffeine after 2 p.m. And remember, it's not just coffee. Watch for it in dark chocolate, green or black teas, sodas, energy drinks, and even some relaxation beverages that sneak it in under different names. If you're sensitive, you may want to stop even earlier, noon or 1 p.m. Instead, replace that mid-afternoon crash moment with movement, hydration, or sunlight. Go for a quick walk. Step outside. Stretch. Let your body reset naturally, without chemical stimulation. The goal isn't to eliminate energy, it's to source it from the right rhythms, not from a substance that stays awake in your bloodstream while your body is begging to sleep. 2. Replace screens with stillness. At least 60 minutes before bed, shut down the screens. Phone, tablet, laptop, TV, all of it. Yes, it'll feel uncomfortable at first. You'll itch for distraction. Your brain will crave the dopamine hit, but that's not a sign that you need stimulation. That's a withdrawal from overstimulation. And it passes. In its place, create a ritual, not a chore. A ritual, something that signals to your brain, the day is done. That could be a warm shower, a few pages from a book, a candle, a slow playlist, even just breathing in silence for 5 minutes. The trick is consistency. Choose your signal and use it every night. That's how the brain learns to trust the transition, because it's not about perfection, it's about repetition. 3. Stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. Think of it like this: if your stomach's busy, your brain can't rest. Give your body a window of 2 to 3 hours between your last meal and your bedtime. That gives your digestive system time to slow down and tells your body, we're done for the day. If hunger does strike, go for a light, protein-rich snack, a spoon of nut butter, a slice of turkey, a small handful of almonds. Avoid sugar, refined carbs, or heavy fats. This one habit alone can dramatically improve the depth and quality of your sleep. Especially if you've struggled with waking up in the middle of the night, it's not about being strict, it's about being strategic. 4. Stop forcing sleep. Interrupt the spiral. This one's simple, but powerful. If you're not asleep after 20 minutes, get up. Seriously. Lying there getting more frustrated by the minute only strengthens the association between bed and stress. So break the loop, get out of bed, keep the lights low, do something calming. Read a slow book, stretch your back.
Breathe in stillness, and when your eyelids start to feel heavy again, then return to bed. You're training your brain to see bed as a safe, sleepy place, not a battlefield. That's how you take back control, not by forcing,
but by shifting the pattern. 5. Keep your sleep schedule within a 90-minute window. Your circadian rhythm is like a toddler. It loves structure. It thrives on predictability. So here's the rule. Go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day. Yes, even weekends, especially weekends. You don't have to be robotic. Give yourself a 60 to 90-minute window, but honor that rhythm. Because every time you shift your sleep by hours, your body has to recalibrate. And it feels that disruption like jet lag, even if you stayed in the same zip code. Protect your sleep schedule like it's sacred, because it is. Your future self, the one who wakes up clear-headed, emotionally, stable, and energized, will thank you for it. Now you might be wondering, Can something this simple really make a difference? Yes. And here's why. Sleep is not built on hacks. It's built on patterns. And these changes, they're not just tips. They're signals to your nervous system. Each one says, you're safe now. The day is over. You can let go. And when your body receives that message consistently, it responds. Not instantly, but reliably, softly, naturally. So don't aim for a perfect night tonight. Aim for one small shift, then another, and soon your sleep won't be something you chase. It'll be something that finds you, like it used to. You don't have to earn it, you just have to make room for it. Start tonight. Take a breath. A real one. Not the shallow, rushed kind you take between tasks or between thoughts, but one that feels like permission. Because tonight, you have permission. Permission to let go of the noise. Permission to stop chasing sleep like a prize you haven't earned. Permission to soften. You don't need to become someone new. You don't need to master some rigid nighttime routine. You just need to start sending your body the right signals, consistently, gently, and with kindness. Sleep is not a reward, it's a right. But in this world where overstimulation is currency and exhaustion is normalized, you've been led to believe that rest must be earned. It doesn't. It just needs space, and you have the power to create that space, starting tonight. Not by doing more, but by doing less of what doesn't serve you. Less caffeine, less chaos before bed, less noise in your nervous system, less pressure to perform even while you're trying to rest. And here's something no one tells you. Every night is a chance to reset. Every night is an invitation to return to yourself. Sleep is not separate from your life. It is the part of you that keeps you whole. When you protect your sleep, you're not just improving your nights. You're shaping your mornings, your focus, your patience, your creativity, your joy. Sleep is not about escaping the day. It's about preparing for who you'll be tomorrow, because the version of you who wakes up rested, she's stronger, more grounded, more present, more herself. That version isn't far away. She's just on the other side of a few new patterns, a few small choices, repeated with care. So here's the seed I want to leave with you tonight. What you do before bed is what decides who you'll be when you wake. And that version of you, the one who wakes up clear, steady, and okay, she's already within you. You don't need to chase her, you just need to stop blocking the path. So let's make tonight different. Not dramatic, just intentional. Close the screen. Dim the lights. Thank your body, and let sleep come to you, not as something you achieve, but as something you remember how to receive, quietly, softly, fully. You're not broken, you're just tired, and you finally know why. If any part of this video made you pause and think, if even one of those habits felt uncomfortably familiar, that's not a bad sign. That's awareness. And awareness is where real change begins. Your sleep doesn't need to be fixed. It just needs to be respected. And sometimes that starts with removing what doesn't belong. So your body can finally do what it's always known how to do. Rest. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these habits shows up in your nights the most? Let me know in the comments, or just drop the number that hit you hardest. And if this video helped you, subscribe. This channel is here to help you sleep softer, deeper, and without the noise. You're not alone in this. You're just one night away from feeling different.